as a songwriter, you have to have, once you have an income producing cut of one of your songs, you have to have someone do your admin, or you have to learn how to do your admin on your own. It's Marty Dodson. Welcome to our series on the business of songwriting. Today I want to talk a little bit about how songwriters get paid and what they get paid for. So as a songwriter, you have to have, once you have an income producing cut of one of your songs, you have to have someone do your admin, or you have to learn how to do your admin on your own. And the person who does the admin is going to track the money for that song. They're going to pay you usually 85% and keep 15% for their work, which in the end usually turns out to be a good deal. But if you choose to do that on your own, it's important to know some different sources of income for songs and be aware of how to register for that and get paid for those. So first of all, let's start with physical copies of things. On the wall behind me, you might be able to see there's a cover for a piece of sheet music for Billy Currington and one for Rascal Flatts. While not as common as that used to be, that is still a thing that generates some income. Of course, you then have CDs, you have vinyl albums, which are kind of making a comeback. Any physical product like that you can hold and buy typically gets paid through the Harry Fox agency. So as a songwriter, if you're doing your own admin, you would register with the Harry Fox agency. You would make sure that all of your songs that have been recorded are registered properly there. And then Harry Fox would start regularly sending you checks as your own publisher, administrator, for any of those physical sales of things. Now, sometimes when you get a cut on an independent record, they don't pay, or they want to pay you directly. They don't want to deal with Harry Fox. So independent cuts, you have to kind of work on your own and work out an agreement with the artist. But I'm talking major label or major indie label cuts, you're going to get paid for those physical products through the Harry Fox agency. Other money, such as streaming, there's actually money from songs that are played in elevators. There's money for songs that are played on airplanes. There's money for songs that are played in restaurants and bars. And those sorts of money, and along with radio, TV, movies, any of those kind of broadcast things come through your PRO, which in the U.S. most people are with CSAC, BMI, or ASCAP. Canadians are with SOCAN. So some countries have choices, other countries just have one. But your PRO pays you for those streaming type services, for airplay, for TV and movie play. So you have to be registered with your PRO as a writer and with a publisher if you want to get paid properly on those and you don't have a publisher. So you would go to your PRO, say, I want to set up my own publishing company. I've got this song that's coming out. I'm already registered with you as a writer, so help me get set up as a publisher. Then all that stuff works right. And then if you're registered with those two, with Harry Fox and with your PRO, you're going to get paid for most of the possibilities out there for your song. The only other big exception might be foreign royalties, which sometimes the PROs are good at collecting. Sometimes you need what's called a sub-publisher in a territory. So there have been times in the past where my company would use a sub-publisher from Asia. So they might use Sony Asia to collect money in Asia on our songs, and they would pay them a percentage of our income for collecting that money in those territories. But if you have those areas covered, you're going to pretty much have all the money areas covered, and you should be getting paid correctly. And you can always request from those people. You should get a statement that's pretty clear about where the money came from on each song. But if you have questions, you can always call them and ask them as well. So that's how a songwriter gets paid. We had an intern one time who was a senior music business major, and she said, Marty, do you just go to the mailbox and it's stuffed full of checks for 15 cents and 13 cents? No. What happens is the Harry Fox agency and the PROs collect all those little checks from all the radio stations and the restaurants that have licenses and all those things. They compile all that money, and then they send you a quarterly check so that you don't have to deal with all those little checks individually. So that's it. That's where the money comes from as a songwriter. I applaud you for learning about the business of songwriting, and I hope you'll keep digging into our series and learning even more. Take care.